So we're going to sit nice and tall, feet flat on the floor. So you want a chair that doesn't have any arms because we're going to move side to side. So if you want to switch out your chair before you begin this morning, please do. And the first thing we're going to do is breathe, because breathing does work the rib muscles and a very important muscle in your body called the diaphragm, which is right about here, and it goes up and down as you breathe. So just sit and breathe, and you're working your core muscles. Deepen the breath, and you really start to challenge that muscle, strengthening that muscle. Rest your hands on your lap and just breathe. And feel not just that the belly rises and falls, but that the whole core expands in all directions. So you want to breathe in and let the belly come out just a little in the front, but also feel that widening in the side and the expansion in the back. Then as you exhale, it comes back towards midline. It might be a subtle movement for you, so if you don't feel it or don't sense it, close your eyes for a moment. Picture it. Picture the breath strengthening the diaphragm and all those little muscles in between the ribs. That's our first exercise in core strength, is to breathe deeply into that diaphragm of the body and expand in all directions on the inhale, and exhale and have all of that come back to center. And then if your eyes are closed, open your eyes for a moment. So another great exercise in yoga is cat-cow. I'm going to turn my chair sideways so that you can see what I'm doing. But when we come into cat-cow, we're working this part of the body and this part of the body. So cat-cow, you bring your feet forward a little bit, hands rest, and you're not using your hands, but you're using your core muscles here. So you want to think about when you come into cat, you pull the belly in, and then the body just rounds, the curve rounds in your back. And then as you sit up, pull that belly in and up towards the ribs. Bring the ribs away from the hips, and then do it again. And each time you start out slowly with just a little bit of curvature, a little bit of ab engagement. And then as you do this 2-3 times, you start to deepen it. Really tuck your chin, really pull that belly in, and then inhale and push through the hands now and sit up a little taller. Exhale into cat. Inhale back up into that nice tall mountain seated position. 2 more here. Lifting with the chest as you come up, rounding, tucking the chin as you come down, pull that belly in, and then release back to neutral. As I adjust my chair here, and you want to be about the middle of your chair. You want to feel supported by your chair, but you want to be able to move your legs. So my thighs are about halfway off the chair, and I feel pretty comfortable here. If you need to sit back a little bit, make sure your feet can reach the floor. So I'm going to move back so you can see my feet a little bit. Feet are firmly into the floor. So we're going to lift one leg up and in. So we feel the squeeze right there above that leg into the lower abs, and then lower it back down. Let's try that on the other side. So we just lift it. We're not lifting, we're not using our hands. We're using the muscles of the core here. Back and forth, left and right. One more on each side. And then just pause for a minute, sit a little taller. I'm going to add on to that core work. You can stay with just lifting the knee into the chest, but I'm going to challenge you to lift it into the chest and then kick it out a little bit, as far as you can. I can do it pretty far. You can see the bottom of my foot. But you might not be there yet today. You might be halfway, and that's okay. Bring it in, tuck it in towards your chest, sit tall, and then lower it back down. So let's try that on the other side. So we lift it in just like we did before. We push it out as far as we can handle it and control it, and then we pull it back in. Now we're not going so far or lifting so far that we cause ourselves to be off balance or straining. We're not doing that, and we're not rounding through the back. So that takes a little bit of work and a little bit of thought. Pull the abs in to hold that back steady. Hold the upper body steady as you pull the knee in, push the leg out, pull it back in, and lower it down. Other side, last time, right here. Beautiful. Sit tall, and now you're going to feel a little bit of warmth right there in the lower abs, and that's a great thing. Next up, twists. Twists are fabulous for core strength. So we're going to do an easy twist. Take your feet, about the chair distance apart. Turn your toes out. Feet are firmly planted into the floor. Roll your shoulders back and down. When you roll your shoulders back, feel that little bit of squeeze along the spine. One more. And then we're going to leave those shoulders back and down. So that means our sternum here in front is lifting. And we're going to take our left hand to our right thigh. We're going to take our right hand back. And as we do that, we start to turn the body. And we can turn just as far as you are comfortable turning. When you start to feel it in your ribs, stay there. Keep your head in line with the chest for this one, because it's an easy twist. And then we'll release head first, arm, and then body. And let's take that over to the other side. Sit tall, right hand to left thigh, take that left arm back, and then turn in the ribs. So I'm not really turning my head. The head just comes along for the ride with the ribs here. And we take a couple breaths in this twist. And then we exhale and release it. Now, you can stay with holding the pose for 2 or 3 breaths. I'm going to move with the breath. So I take my left hand to the right thigh. I'm going to take my right hand back. Sit tall, and as I exhale, I'm going to turn, exhaling here, and then when I inhale, I come on back. Stay on the same side. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, turn. Inhale, back to center. Exhale. Inhale, tall. Exhale, turn. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, and then release. So we'll do 3 on the other side. I'll turn a little bit sideways so you can see what's happening. Maintain that nice tight engagement right here. Right hand to left thigh, left hand back. Inhale, we sit tall. Exhale, we turn. Inhale, back to center, and exhale. Inhale, a little taller. Pull those abs in. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to center. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale and turn. Inhale, back to center. Sit tall. And just feel that now that warmth that we had in our lower abs is starting to move up into our ribs. So the next group of exercises are done standing. You can stay in the chair and follow along with the chair work that we just did. It's very similar. So I'm adjusting my chair here so that you can see me. I've got to adjust the camera here a little bit. Thought my hand is all set, but you know how it is with this technology. All right, so here we are. I've got my chair about a little off-centered, and I can reach it. Anytime I need my chair is there. My feet are a little bit apart because we're standing in mountain pose here, right? Take a nice deep breath. Now we can really feel it. Exhale. As you exhale, pull everything into center, just like we did in the chair. Inhale and expand. Exhale. You can actually place your hands right on the lower ribs here and feel that expansion. Inhale and exhale. Now, take the backs of your hands to your back, and I want you to have that same sense of feeling. Inhale. Feel how that now comes into your back. Exhale. Breathe into the hands on your back. One more time. And then release those arms down. So even here, we can do those knee lifts that we did in the chair. they're going to be a little more challenging because now we're working against this gravity. So again, hand on chair, and you can lift that right knee up and squeeze it in and then lower it down. Let's do 3 more. Great. Feel that pull in. That's what's going to work the abs. And then the other side. So we lift and we pull it in, pulling that knee towards your belly, working those abs. And you might even feel it a little in your back. Now, of course, if you feel pain, you'll do it with less intensity. And then come to pause. Now we're going to add on to that kick out. So we bring it up and we kick it forward and bring it back in. Now squeeze and lower it down. 2 more like that. Lift the right leg, push it forward as much as you can, pull it in and lower it down with control. And if you're finding this a little difficult today, don't worry about it. Stay with it. Come back to this video, which I will post on YouTube, so that you have it accessible to you and you can practice maybe twice a week to strengthen your core. The benefits of that, of course, strength and stability in your body. 2 more. Stand tall, pull the belly in, pull the knee in, kick it forward. Show me the sneaker or the foot. 1 more. And then lower it down and just pause for a minute. So your hip creases and your upper abs here on the side are starting to feel the practice. We're going to come into cat-cow again, so I'm going to give you some options. You can do cat-cow at the back of your chair like this. You can place your hands on your thighs, as we did in the chair, or you can place your hands on the chair. So if we're here, wherever we're at, we feel comfortable, we bend the knees slightly, and now we're going to lift the sternum forward. So you're going to feel a little pull in those back muscles. That's a good thing because we want to strengthen them too. And then we round. Now we're pulling the belly button in. We're tucking that chin. And then release that forward. And then right here, lift that chest forward. Feel that pull in the back muscles. So in cat-cow, we work the front in our cat, and then we pull it back into the back, strengthening both front and back core muscles. 1 more. And this time when you come into cat, bend your knees and slowly walk yourself up your thighs or come to standing. And just pause and breathe there for a moment. And the next group of muscles we're going to work are the upper leg muscles. So you want to be here. Again, you want the chair to be close, but you don't have to use the chair if you don't want to. If you want to work on balance a little bit, in addition to working on our core, we just lift that leg out to the side and bring it down. We don't want to lift it so high that the body tilts. We want to keep the body nice and tall and still be able to lift that leg a little bit out to the side. And then we try it on the other side. Stand tall, lift. Maybe one side lifts more than the other. And that's okay. You want to feel it right here, strengthening the outer hip muscles. 1 more. And then, I'm going to turn my chair so you can see, we're going to work the back side. So, we lift that leg back. We want to keep the leg relatively straight. So stand tall in mountain. Fingertips can be on the chair for this. And then you just lift your leg back. Feel the pull right here or the engagement of that muscle. And then lower it down. Keep your hips facing the chair and you'll get more out of the exercise. 2 more on the right leg here. And then let's do 5 on the other leg. Lift and lower. Your breathing is pretty steady here. One more. And then come to your mountain. And just feel that warmth now. Warmth is good, pain is not. So keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you feel the exercise. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to challenge the muscles isometrically. In yoga, any of the standing poses will challenge your core. That's a good thing because challenging your core will strengthen your core. So the first one we're going to do, you can have your hand on your chair at first. So we're going to lift that right leg up. Doesn't matter how high. We're going to hover the hand. So I hover the hand in case I start to get off balance. As soon as you start to get off balance, put that hand down, pull the belly in, pull the back towards that spine, and you feel a little bit more steady, and you can hover the hand again. And let's try that on the other side. Standing tall, we lift the other knee. Pull those abs in, pull the back in. Remember the sandwich. Hover and lower the hand. And then hover the hand again. And then lower the hand and lower the leg. And just breathe here. So any standing pose can strengthen that. So if you're in the chair and you're doing the standing poses in the chair, which we've done in other classes, you can still strengthen your core by lifting through the spine, because that's exactly what we're going to do in standing. We're going to do triangle. So we're going to step those feet nice and wide apart. And then from the bottom of your pelvic area all the way up, I want you to draw up, tighten all of those muscles. And then release them. Feel that engagement upward. Exhale and soften as it releases. Now, turning your left foot towards your chair. You can have one hand on the chair or you can place it on your thigh. Take the other hand into your lower back. This keeps the upper body in alignment. Pull up. Remember, from the core, from the lower part of your pelvis, up through your core, into your chest. And then just slight tuck a chin and start to lean towards that left leg. How far you lean, how far you go is up to you. And then start to feel how holding those abs in, even while you breathe, is challenging and strengthening all the while that you do this. So you can come into your triangle here. You can keep this hand on the back. That keeps the shoulders in alignment. But if you're used to bringing that arm up overhead, feel free to join me in the full expression of triangle. So in triangle here, we're going to lift that top hand up a little bit and lower back down. So really what I'm doing is I'm keeping my arms steady and just moving through the core. I'm using my core to lift that little bit, pulling it in a little deeper. Give it a try. Maybe 2 or 3 more here. And then to come out of this pose, place that hand on that thigh, bring the top arm down, bend that front knee, that left knee, and come all the way up. Step the feet in, come to your mountain. Sense that energy now. And here again, you'll feel some work in your upper leg, and that's a good thing. But you'll also feel that you used your core. Any standing pose. Let's try triangle on the other side. We separate those feet again, turn the right foot out. Facing to the right. Keep the legs relatively straight. You can see I got that chair in the way there. And then we're going to take the left hand now onto our back, keeping the chest facing the chair. If you still need the chair because this is a new pose for you and you're just going to try it, keep your hand on the chair. It's okay. And then the work is here. So pull it in right from the bottom of your pelvic all the way up. Tuck your chin slightly. And then take this other hand, slide it down your right leg. Keeping the shoulders facing forward as much as possible. So if you're doing triangle and you can't keep your shoulders facing forward, come up a little and get them forward because that's going to be the core work. Some people can go down pretty far. This is about as far as I can go. And not lose that integrity of the pose. And again, the left arm can come up. If you want to keep it here, you're just going to be moving. You're moving through the shoulders. It's nothing to do with the arms. The arms just give you that visual feeling like you're reaching up and you're reaching down. And we toggle up and down and we feel that working side body here, core really pulling in, and you feel it in your back a little too. And that's a good thing. Maybe 2 more here. And then bring that top arm down, place that right hand on the thigh, bend that right knee, and come up. And come back into your mountain pose. So another great standing pose to isometrically strengthen your core is tree pose. So lots of options here for tree pose. Again, hand can be on the chair to begin with. Start to find your balance. Rock back and forth, ball of foot, heel of foot. And then when you feel steady, pull in once again, all the way up, zip up through the core. Not just the front, but the back too. So everything comes towards the spine that's in the middle of your body. Then bend that right knee and turn it out as much as you're comfortable doing. Bring that heel up the leg. So my toes are still on the floor here, sorry. And we just kind of balance here. And we really feel the pull in the core. And you could stay right here and you're working that core. Pull in, focus here today. Not so much on balancing on the leg. And then if you want to work the balance in, you can bring the foot off the floor. Right foot can come into the side of the shin or all the way up above the knee. That's totally up to you. So you can stay here. And then once again, we hover that hand that's on the chair. I have to put my right hand on my hip to really remind myself, pull that core in. And once you've got that, you can bring your hands to your heart today. And just pull in that core. Feel it working isometrically. Even if your toes are on the floor, you're pulling in, balancing the body with those core muscles. And then exhale if your foot's up, bring it down, release the hands, come to mountain. And take a few breaths here. And we'll go to the other side. So once again, if you're using the chair for balance, I highly recommend putting it to the other side now so that you can work the left leg. So again, we bend the knee and turn it out, bringing the heel above the ankle. Toes are still on the floor to begin with, and then we engage that core. Zip it up, pull it in towards the spine, everything tight in your core. Right hand can be on the chair to begin with. You can begin to lift your foot if that's going to be your practice today, and then hover the hand. Those are options. Another option is to bring the hands in front of the heart. Pull up. If you start to feel yourself get a little wobbly, put your hand on the chair. Pull those abs in and hover that hand. See if you can find that stability, not with the leg, but with the core. One more breath. And with control, hand down, foot down. And we come to our mountain pose once again. And just feel the benefits of our practice. So the next one we're going to do what's more of traditional movement type of things. So I'm going to stand behind my chair. I move my chair around here so that you can see me in the camera. And then we want to be sideways to it so that for me, my left arm is on the chair. And my left hip faces the chair. I'm going to bring my right arm up into goalpost. Now, for this one, you can keep your hand on the chair, or you can keep your hand on your hip, which is a little bit more challenging. So let's do 2 with our hand on the chair. We're going to lift that left knee, and as we do, we're going to bring that right elbow towards it, coming into cat with our body, our upper body, and then release it back and down. And then stand tall. One more, just like that. You pull that knee up. Remember how we did that at the beginning of class? And then we rotate. We did that at the beginning of class. And touch knee to elbow. And then we release it. Now, more challenging, of course, would be not holding on to the chair. You can have your hand on your hip, or you can hover your hand here for that stability, right? And then we lift. And we twist. And we come back and down. Can we do 2 more? Always pulling those muscles in to steady the body here. Even I have to concentrate on that. It's not easy. Ooh, as you can see. Alrighty, so now we got to do the other side. So we're going to switch to the other side. You can turn around if you know what you're doing. You don't have to move your chair like I'm doing. And I'm going to face you so you can see. So left hand up into goal post, right hand on the chair. We lift that right knee up in. We really have to tuck it in. That's going to remind us. Core in, elbow to knee as we round into that cat back and release it all the way back down. So this is, if you will, combining everything we did this morning into this one pose that works the core. So if you do this practice on your own, I would suggest you do a few of those things, either standing or in the chair, and then come up and do 5 to 10 of those crunches. Come to your mountain, feel your breath. Turn towards your chair now, and we're going to work the outer muscles called the obliques. I'm sure you've heard of them. And so I'm going to keep one hand on the chair. I'm going to, again, bend my right arm into goal post. I'm going to step my feet apart just a little bit. And then I'm going to bend towards my hip, and I'm going to lift my leg. Pull that elbow into side, and then release it. You can actually bend the knee out to the side, too, to get a little more engagement of that oblique. So I will turn sideways so you can see my knee comes out to the side instead of forward. Great, one more. And then we'll do that on the other side. Again, if you're using the chair, step to the other side. Left arm in the goddess pose. Left knee lifts. So same side, out to the side, pull the elbow in and release it. So you can see how this is a little bit different than what we just did, because we were cross-body, and we do not come into cat. This is for the side muscles, otherwise known as our obliques. 2 more. Last one. Yay! Come to mountain. And when you're ready, come into your chair. So I'm going to turn my chair a little bit at an angle so you can see what I'm doing. Again, sit about halfway, 3/4 of the way into the chair, but my feet need to be on the floor for this. We're coming into camel. So a couple of ways to do camel is just reach back and sit tall. And once again, zip up the core. Another way is to pull, start to bend the elbows and pull the body up and tilt your head slightly upward. So I'm not putting my head back, I'm really lifting right here in the chest. And this is going to pull on your core muscles here. So camel. And in camel, we are stretching out those ab muscles that we just worked. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. And on an exhale is when you release camel. Very nice. And then we'll do a little stretch for the side muscles. You bring your hands up. You can interlace them like this, or you can put them in Anjali Mudra. But you want the arms alongside your ears. Elbows can be slightly bent. I'm going to straighten mine. The straighter you can get the arms, the greater the stretch in the core. Keep the keep the arms next to the ears. Draw those muscles in and up. And then exhale and just stretch off to the right here. Just a little bit of lean and feel that, hold that there for a couple breaths. And then come up to center and go over to the other side. And then inhale to center and release the arms down. And we're going to take a twist. This time the hand's going to reach for the chair behind you. Left hand on the outside of the right knee. Sit tall and turn a little deeper. Take 2 breaths here. Making sure that you're aware how tight your core is pulling in towards your middle. On an exhale, release head, shoulders, arms. We'll do that on the other side. We reach back for the chair. We use the right hand on the outside of that left leg now. We sit tall. Exhale and turn to the left. And turn as deeply as is comfortable for you. Sitting tall, feeling that twist in your ribs. And then exhale, bring the head back, release the arms, come to your mountain in a chair. And then hands at your heart and just bow to your body for its fabulous work today. Very nice. Give me comments, let me know how your core feels today. Have a great day.